In March 1888, one of the deadliest storms in American history devastated the Northeast, leaving more than 400 dead and entire cities at a standstill. How did ordinary people survive when nature unleashed its fury? Welcome to where we uncover the incredible events that shaped our nation. Stay with us as we take you inside the harrowing tale of the Great Blizzard of 1888, a storm that changed everything. March 11th, 1888 began like any other day in the northeastern United States. Winter had overstayed its welcome, but signs of spring were beginning to emerge. In bustling cities like New York, Philadelphia, and Boston, people went about their daily routines, unaware of the impending catastrophe. Communication relied on telegraphs, and weather forecasting was rudimentary. Though reports of an approaching snowstorm circulated, few could grasp the severity of what was coming. In New York City, Mary Holland, a widowed seamstress, prepared for another day of work. Her small tenement apartment on the Lower East Side barely kept out the cold, but she managed as best she could. Across town, 14-year-old Thomas Mercer navigated the busy streets delivering telegrams for Western Union with precision. Meanwhile, in rural Vermont, farmer George Abbott tended to his livestock, making sure they were fed and sheltered before nightfall. For them, and millions of others, it was an ordinary day, until everything changed. By nightfall, the blizzard struck with unrelenting force. Winds exceeding 50 miles per hour tore through towns and cities, carrying a relentless barrage of snow. Temperatures plummeted and visibility dropped to near zero. The storm caught everyone off guard. In New York, Mary Holland did everything she could to keep her apartment warm. She placed towels along the windows to block drafts and huddled with her 2 children beneath blankets, watching her dwindling supply of coal with growing fear. At Western Union, Thomas Mercer found himself stranded as messages poured in, trains stuck on tracks, telegraph lines failing, and reports of people freezing in the streets. Determined to help, he volunteered to deliver urgent messages, braving the blizzard's wrath. In Vermont, George Abbott fought to protect his livestock. The barn roof groaned under the weight of the snow, and the frigid air seeped through every crack. He shoveled tirelessly, reinforcing the structure, all while worrying about his wife and children inside their farmhouse. The storm raged through the night and into the next day. Snowdrifts towered up to 50 feet in some areas, burying homes, trains, and entire towns. Cities ground to a halt as transportation systems failed. Even the elevated train in New York City, hailed as a marvel of modern engineering, froze in place, leaving passengers trapped for hours. With the storm at its peak, survival became a desperate battle. What would you have done in their place? By March 12th, the blizzard had reached its most brutal stage. In her frozen apartment, Mary Holland woke to find the windows sealed shut by ice, the air inside bitterly cold. Her children shivered under blankets, their lips tinged blue. Desperate, she wrapped herself in layers and ventured into the storm in search of coal or food, joining others in a frantic quest for survival. Thomas Mercer pushed forward through towering snowdrifts, delivering news of shelter locations and checking on the elderly who lived alone. At one point, exhaustion nearly overtook him, but the thought of saving lives kept him going. In Vermont, George Abbott's worst fear came true. The barn roof collapsed under the crushing weight of the snow. He and his eldest son rushed to save their animals, battling against freezing winds. They managed to rescue most of the livestock, but the loss of their prized horse, Daisy, was a devastating blow. Across the region, similar stories unfolded. Thousands were left without food or heat, and many froze to death in their own homes. The streets of New York were littered with debris and bodies, a haunting reminder of the storm's deadly power. By March 13th, the blizzard began to subside, revealing the sheer magnitude of destruction. Over 400 lives had been lost, and countless others were injured or missing. Communities were cut off, isolated by towering snowdrifts. Mary Holland returned home empty-handed but relieved to find her children alive. A kind neighbor shared what little coal they had, and together they endured the final hours of the storm. Thomas Mercer, after completing his last delivery, collapsed from exhaustion at the Western Union office. His bravery earned him the gratitude of those he had helped, but his frostbitten hands would forever bear the scars of the storm. In Vermont, George Abbott and his family faced the daunting task of rebuilding. Neighbors came together, sharing resources and labor to recover from the disaster. Efforts to clear the snow and restore order began immediately. Workers labored day and night to repair telegraph lines, reopen railroads, and distribute food and supplies. The storm exposed critical weaknesses in infrastructure and communication, sparking discussions about the need for better emergency preparedness. The Great Blizzard of 1888 left an indelible mark on the United States. In its wake, cities invested in underground transportation, leading to the creation of the New York City subway. Weather forecasting and emergency response protocols improved, saving countless lives in future disasters. For Mary Holland, the storm was a turning point. She joined a local relief organization, dedicating her life to helping others in times of crisis. Thomas Mercer became a symbol of resilience, inspiring his community to prioritize preparedness. George Abbott and his family rebuilt their farm, stronger and more united than ever. Though the blizzard was a tragedy, it also revealed the incredible strength of the human spirit. The lessons learned from that fateful storm shaped the future, ensuring that when nature struck again, people would be better prepared. The Great Blizzard of 1888 wasn't just a storm, it was a test of courage, ingenuity, and survival. If you found this story inspiring, subscribe for more tales of triumph and tragedy from the past. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of real history told by a real voice.